Whale 2.0 build. We're on week 5, and it's been a long week. We get a lot done. So first off, we want to attach the rear frame to the mid-cab section. Ian used these templates, and he cut the holes. Reattaching the rear frame to the truck was a big deal to all of us. We really want to see it as one piece again.
Fit perfect earlier. Gravity. Oh, this is tighter than this. Really?
I also want to mention on this episode, I'm doing a lot less subtitles. I got really lucky on how clear you can hear everyone this week. So, anyways, back at it.
We need to measure all this out, and we need to get that motor out of there.
We're getting the motor out before putting the table on?
Yeah, because the frame we have to move the frame like this.
That's a good point.
Otherwise, we have to get the body level to this.
So as Squints mentioned earlier, we need to take these measurements before we drop the engine. And now we carefully drop the engine back out. So this is right about where the gang started to figure out that when you remove the rear frame and the front frame, the middle little section of frame left does flex. They all tried tweaking this around, trying to get the frame to fit correctly through the holes. We even ratchet strapped it to the Tundra. It just didn't line up right. So naturally, we all moved on to other distractions, like holding up unfinished pieces and taking bets on how much each part weighs.
Money.
Suckers. It's completely random. I just guessed.
Regardless of those holes lining up, we knew that we had to finish welding on the rear supports and all the corners. So Squints got right to it, and we finished up the rear frame. And while the welding continued, I continued on working on weatherproofing the interior and soundproofing it. I replaced all the weather seals, and this made a huge difference. My window used to whistle on the highway and air used to come through, but not anymore. Ian from Wheel Every Weekend took care of our bypasses and assembled the shocks. Here he's going to explain the internal bypasses and why he's drilling these holes in them.
So, we've got this guy. So he has an O-ring on the outside and the inside. And that's because this sits in here. And then you can see inside of there is the outlet to the reservoir itself. So the way these bypasses work is that there's an outer shell. This is outside of this is filled with oil as well. But the oil that comes into here can't travel out into the reservoir. It's forced to return to the assembly. So these are actually called return holes. And then you can see right here, those are your main bleed holes. So typically you'll put bleed in the main piston, but this actually just puts bleed essentially in your ride zone from like there to there. So this will be your like top out zone. Your bottom out zone is once you're past, there's a hole underneath here. These are little one-way valves. They're like reed valves like you'd see on a two-stroke in a chainsaw or something. So this bottom section here and this section here is the only part that you're using full piston valving. The rest of it, some of the oil is allowed to go around the piston into this outer assembly. But what I do for solid axle trucks is drill out these, I'll add another couple of holes, drill them out, hone the inside of the cylinder, and then I drill these bleed holes a little bigger because solid axles really struggle with like initial shaft velocity because it's so much unsprung weight. So this allows the unsprung weight to kind of get moving faster. Makes sense. So yeah. Internal bypass. If you leave a single burr, it'll just destroy the inside of the shock. You pull it out, you just push the thing in. So it's like an inside reamer bit, which this is pretty much the only application that you'd actually need it for. But I do that, and then I hone the. Actually. That was a bitch. Bastards. Yeah. That was really so just big. A ketchup bottle of Loctite, just like.
Dude, look at the.
Here's our before shot. Door held open by a little piece of metal. Door closes by a little piece of metal. We got some trash. We got some Teds. Yeah, well, a bunch of different little Teds. Oh, there's the big Teds, little Teds. Alright, so this is before. I took on the extra cab project as part of payment to the Wheel Every Weekend shop for this rebuild on the White Whale 2.0. I cleaned their old extra cab to prep it for their upcoming sale. We sanded all this rust off. So stay tuned for weeks to come because this is an ongoing project. Alex and I have been on several adventures with this extra cab back when the Wheel Every Weekend crew gave it some love, and it's gone way downhill since those times. Anyways, like I mentioned before, this is only part 1 of 2, so stay tuned. Next week, I tackle the turdy carpet. That, put it all back together. Shiny. Shifters don't have gunk in them. You can grab that knob. Shiny. Nice clean dash.
Keep looking around.
Stick back.
Not this again.
Yeah. After a long week, one of the days, at the end of the day, everyone just really wanted to see the bed and frame attached, but since it didn't fit, we had to at least mock it up for our own mental health and see it with a tire.
Where are the 47s?
So cool. That's the best part.
I love that. That's awesome. I don't know, man, to be honest. The computer design doesn't get this far.
About halfway through the week, Squints showed up with a rooster. Well, later we were told it was a rooster. We all thought it was a chicken at this point. He said he found it on the side of the road and brought it to the Wheel Every Weekend barn. Brittany and Ian don't have chickens, but the last owners of the house did, so Squints dropped off the chicken or rooster down in their barn.
Have you seen the thing where you turn them upside down?
No, you were doing that earlier, though.
And then you bury their head in there.
Oh, what?
And they can become like docile.
Like go to sleep.
Put them upside down.
It looks like it's going to sleep. Crazy. Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
I'm scared. Yeah, what the heck? It just leaves its neck like that.
It'll just stay like that.
Weird. Now it's time for the Atlas. Okay, at first we have to upgrade another piece of Wheel Every Weekend equipment, put a new ram on the hoist before we can just grab the heart of our recoveries. So to install the Atlas transfer case, you need to replace the output shaft in the transmission. Alex and I were ready, mostly Alex.
I'm gonna pull the strap out. Second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Yeah, this comes out. And there's a bunch of needle bearings in there.
Everything looked really good in there. It was dirty on the outside, clean on the inside. We ended up cleaning the outside too, and Alex got the output shaft on successfully. There were a couple little retainer clips that were a pain to get back on, but otherwise, the disassembly and reassembly went beautifully. We even joked about how great the job went.
The heart behind all the recoveries.
We depend on her. First gear. Is that reverse?
Neutral.
Neutral.
It was all great until the adapter went on. And that's when Alex heard a clicking or something was hitting. So the guys had to open it back up several times. They watched it with flashlights until they figured out it was the adapter stud was hitting and it needed to be trimmed. Figuring this out was a huge sigh of relief that nothing was wrong with the transmission. They just needed to shorten that little stud.
An eighth inch off of it.
Well, tell me when
Right there it's sitting.
Okay, so
Right there would be clear, but to be really safe would be right there. Stop. Go in. Right there.
Like
that would
two
be
threads.
safe.
Okay. And that, it does bottom at that size too. You just chuck the nut on it and then cut it, and then when you undo the nut, it fixes the threads. Unless you want to just grind it.
No, we need it on
I know,
versus truck.
because you can put the fucking ratcheting.
Yeah. And I think his was.
Okay, it's time to put her on. I remember this time because I was making dinner and I heard the Atlas is going on. Ian and Alex are installing the Atlas. So I ran downstairs to see because this is a big deal for us. It's the heart behind all of our recoveries.
It's like
Look
2
at
days.
that though.
One day.
Yeah.
It's on the engine crane. That's
and I had it on. And then I stopped.
Oh.
Give it the shimmy. The shimmy. Ah, there we go.
More long
Well, thanks for hanging in there and watching this week's long episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next episode, we're going to be combining 2 weeks, weeks 6 and 7, into one episode because we start to reassemble the Ford and things start moving along quickly.
You up in the car seat?
Oh my god, it is! Stay, chicken.
Stay. Come now.
It stayed. Oh my god. I'm gonna put the cab on the frame, see if she fits, see how she fits.
That'll be sick.